Mr. Kwame was an eager young teacher, fresh out of college and brimming with idealism. He had always dreamed of making a difference in the lives of children, and when he was assigned to teach in the remote village of Nkurumah, he saw it as a golden opportunity. Despite warnings from friends and family about the village's strange reputation, Kwame dismissed their concerns. To him, this was just another adventure. The journey to Nkurumah was long and arduous. As the bus wound its way through the dense forest, Kwame couldn't help but notice the thick canopy overhead, blocking out most of the sunlight. The village, when he finally arrived, seemed quaint and quiet, nestled at the foot of a mountain range. The air was cooler here, and the scent of damp earth filled his nostrils. Kwame was met by the village chief and a small group of elders. They greeted him warmly, with smiles that felt slightly forced. The chief, an elderly man with a deep voice and piercing eyes, welcomed him with a traditional ceremony. The villagers sang and danced, but Kwame couldn't shake the feeling of an underlying tension. As the evening wore on, the villagers gradually dispersed, leaving Kwame alone with the chief and his new quarters, the old schoolhouse. The schoolhouse was a modest building, made of weathered wood and a thatched roof. It had 2 rooms, one for the classroom and another for his living quarters. As he unpacked his belongings, Kwame noticed the persistent cold draft, despite the warmth outside. He shrugged it off, thinking it was just part of the old building's charm. That night, as Kwame lay in bed, he heard strange noises, soft whispers and creaks that seemed to come from the walls. He tried to ignore them, convincing himself it was just the wind or perhaps small animals scurrying about. However, the feeling of being watched was hard to dismiss. He felt an inexplicable chill, not just from the draft but from something deeper, more unsettling. The following day, Kwame began his teaching duties. The children were polite but unusually quiet. They seemed almost fearful, especially when he asked them about their families or the village's history. During recess, Kwame explored the village and noticed that certain areas were avoided by the villagers, particularly an old, dilapidated building near the edge of the forest. When he asked about it, the villagers would either change the subject or give vague answers, their eyes darting nervously. That night, as Kwame sat grading papers by candlelight, he heard a soft weeping outside his window. Curiosity piqued, he peered outside and saw a young woman in tattered clothes standing just beyond the schoolhouse. Her face was pale, and her eyes seemed to bore into his soul. Before he could call out to her, she vanished into the night. The next day, Kwame mentioned the encounter to the village chief, who dismissed it with a wave of his hand. The village has many secrets, the chief said, and some things are best left alone. This dismissive attitude only heightened Kwame's curiosity and unease.